Hello, this is Dr. Mears, and today we are going to be learning about the discriminant. And the discriminant actually has a symbol attached to it. IB attaches the delta symbol for discriminant, I guess because it starts with the letter D. So cool. This is a Greek letter. So delta, or the discriminant, equals b squared minus 4ac. Now I'm hoping that you have a feeling, because you've watched my other videos, that you've seen this before, and you actually have. You've seen it in the quadratic formula, and it's underneath the square root. And if you've watched my quadratic formula video, we actually were able to find x-intercepts, but then we got to the last one, and hopefully you didn't stop the video before that, and we saw that we had a negative underneath the square root, so it didn't cross the x-axis. And so what we're going to learn about today is being able to do the discriminant and seeing if it crosses the x-axis twice, crosses once where it's going to sit, or doesn't cross at all. So we're going to figure out, and let's just write this down, if it crosses twice, 1, 2, 1, 2. If it crosses once, or there's that double root, so you can remember we had the double root on that -5, or it could even look like this, and it doesn't necessarily have to be in that quadrant, but I'm just showing you. So it crosses just one time where you have a double root, it's the same answer. Or if it just doesn't cross at all. We had one that was just like this, not at all. And we're going to be able to do that, so we don't have to go through all of this if it's not even going to cross. So it's kind of like a check. And plus, this is nice to do because then you have the number that you put underneath the square root, which makes a quadratic formula so much easier. All right, so let's look. So we're going to calculate this number. And if this number turns out to be greater than 0, that means it has two distinct real roots. That means it crosses twice. If this number calculates out to actually equal 0, that means it's only going to have one. It's going to have that repeated root, and I also called it a double, or sits right here. And then if it's less than 0, now remember, less than 0 is a negative number. So that's a negative number underneath the square root, and that's going to tell us that it doesn't cross. There's no real roots. That means it probably looks like this, or somewhere down here, anywhere you want. But it just doesn't cross this x-axis. Remember, that's what it's all about, our x-axis. All right, so let's try. So here we have our examples. And so we're going to pull out our A, B, and C. So A is 2, B is 5, and C is -1. And we're going to put it in the discriminant, b squared minus 4ac. And remember, I like to use parentheses, so parentheses around B. So 5 squared minus 4 times A times C. And parentheses are going to help us. Please, please use parentheses because I don't want your negatives to get lost. So let's quit. Clear. All right, so we're going to have 5 squared minus 4 times A times C. So 5 squared minus 4 times 2 times -1. That's going to give us the number 33. 33. So we now have to compare this to 0. So 33 is definitely greater than 0. Greater than 0. So we're going to see that this has two x-intercepts. So if you see that it has two x-intercepts, yay. So 2, and we're going to write two distinct roots. Let's write that down. Two distinct roots. And I actually have, do I have this? Yep. So in my little graphing calculator, I'm going to go down here, and this is 2x squared plus 5x minus 1. I'm going to press enter so the little black box is on there, and I'm going to graph it. And let's see, it should cross twice, 1 and 2. Yay! Awesome. It crosses the x-axis twice. So we are sweet. So, and you can even do crosses twice. Crosses x twice. Awesome. All right. Let's do number 2. Now, be careful because remember, it has to be set equal to 0. So what are we going to have to do? We have x squared plus 10x equals -25. Don't assign A, B, and C yet. We have to add 25 to both sides. So x squared plus 10x plus 25 equals 0. All right. Now we can write down our A. A is 1. Remember, no number, so it's 1. B is 10. B is 25. let's put them in the discriminant. So we have 10 squared minus 4 times A, which is 1, times C, which is 25. Let's go back over here, clear this out. So we're going to have 10 squared minus 4 times 1 times 25. Yep. Oh, we get 0. 0. So we have to compare that to 0. What is it? It is equal. So let's go back to our chart. It's equal right here. So we're going to have a double root. So it's going to look like one of these. So let's just write down 2 equal roots. So let's go. Let's see what it looks like. Let's go to y equals. I'm going to put my little black box on the one I was just on and press enter. That takes the black box away. And let's notice x squared plus 10x plus 25. I'm going to press enter so that has a black box on it. Let's graph and it should, ooh, look at that. It touches once right there. Awesome. So you know what? We can even put those graphs back. Oh, I forgot what that one looked like. We can even make the graph, so little sketch. You know how I like to do all my little sketches. And this one, just to go back, was like this. 1, 2, and 1. Okay? Yay. All right, fill those little graphs in so you have some visual representations. All right, and our last one for today, we see that it is set equal to 0. That's what we want. And our A is -2, B is -4, and C is -5. And so let's do the discriminant. -4 squared, parentheses, minus 4 times -2 times -5. Again, look at all these negatives. Parentheses, everybody. Let's go back and, oh, we don't want our graph yet. Okay. We're going to do -4 squared, parentheses, minus 4 times -2 times -5. Whoops. And is that right? Good. My parentheses, my negative signs are all equal. Enter. -24. You probably guessed this was going to be a -1. We're comparing that to 0. -24 is definitely way less than. So let's go up. Less than 0. No roots. No x-intercept. So we're going to write no roots. Okay, so let's go see what that looks like on the calculator. Y equals, I'm going to go down, and here it is, -2x squared minus 4x minus 5. I'm going to press enter so that black box stays on there, so that's the one I'm going to have. I'm going to go to graph, and oh, look at that. Wow, that's really far down, huh? So let's just go like this. Little sketch here. We see that it doesn't cross, and so that's very helpful because if I was asking you to find the x-intercepts, you wouldn't be able to. So this saves you going through a quadratic formula or factoring or completing the square or something. So this saves you from actually doing all of that work. So now we can tell by simply substituting it into the discriminant, all of the A, B's, and C's, whether it crosses twice, once, or not at all. Whether it's greater than, equal to, or less than. This has been the discriminant. I hope it helped.